This is the American Power Hour. I'm your host, Nick Metcalf, and I'm joined here today by Mackenzie. Shout out to Michael Hartson as well. Today's Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I did 2 food reviews here today. I did the Krispy Kreme Oreo box. 3 different Oreo donuts from Krispy Kreme. And then I also did the new Street Chalupas from Taco Bell. And the chicken nuggets as well. I got the Lux box. That's what it's called. The Lux box comes with like a burrito. You got your Street Chalupas. Comes with a side. I went with the cinnamon twists and a drink. And then on top of it, I got the nuggets. So the nuggets from Taco Bell are great. They're great, dude. Look at this. I start talking about nuggets. Just start talking about chicken. All of a sudden, my chicken girl comes out of nowhere. Oh my gosh. You want a little bite, girl? Want a little bite of the chicken. I don't blame her. They're good. They are really good. These don't even you can't even compare these Taco Bell chicken nuggets to like McDonald's. Blows McDonald's out of the water. Blows Wendy's out of the water. Burger King, it doesn't even need to be said. But wow, are these good. Let's get you a little bite, Mackenzie. Can you guys see her little head poking out there? Yeah, these are delightful. They just didn't have the sauce. I look in the bag, and the lady asked, what 2 sauces do you want? I'll do the Taco Bell sauce, which I haven't tried, and also the new hot honey mustard. I'll try those too. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. They weren't in the bag. Man, have you guys tried these? Taco Bell's chicken nuggets are better than their tacos. Dare I say it? Can you go lay down? Can you go in Mackenzie's blanket? You're so smart. Good catch. Good catch, kiddo. Michael Hartson said definitely pretty good, the nuggets. Yeah, they're juicy, they're tender, they're thick. These are some girthy. This is like the size of a bull's testicle, dude. I mean, if I had to guess. You're not getting that quality of meat in like a McDonald's chicken nugget. Ain't no way. I just wish I had the sauces. Let's get Mackenzie another piece. You go lay down. Oh, good catch. That one was going a little over your head. And she still snagged it out of midair. So yeah, these Taco Bell nuggets, man, nothing to play with. Here, I would get these again a million times over. Maybe they were just like super fresh, but yeah, dude, this is not gonna beat McDonald's or anything like that. I'm surprised these aren't talked about more, if I'm being honest. Delightful, absolutely delightful. Let's see what else I got in store here. Let me get a little drink. Today's Wednesday. What are we talking about? Today we're going to be talking about. There's a couple different things, dude. They found writing from like 40,000 years ago. I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but previously we thought that the oldest recording of writing was about 10,000 years ago. And the historians, the professionals told us that's when writing started was 10,000 years ago. Turns out they were off by about 30,000 years. You know, you just get something a little wrong by 30,000 years. Let me bring this article up. Excuse me, webpage isn't loading. Let me reload it. Okay, what's going on here? They're blocking the article now. All right, here it is. 40,000-year-old signs show humans were recording information long before writing. So this article is legit. This actually did, in fact, happen. ScienceDaily.com here. So previously. Okay, the earliest known writing system, which appeared around 3000 BC, tens of thousands of years later, about 30,000 years later, is when we originally thought that writing came about. And then this discovery over the weekend, apparently, or on maybe Monday, they found these items, these parcels, if you will, with writing 45,000 years ago, featuring recurring patterns of lines, dots, notches, and crosses. Many were found in the caves of Swabian Jura region of southwestern Germany. The old Vogelherd Cave in Lone Valley. For example, archaeologists uncovered a small mammoth figurine carved from mammoth ivory. Its surface is marked with rows of crosses and dots. Christy said, am I too late? Did you get the Street Chalupas? I did get the Street Chalupas. Let's pop these open. Shout out to Christy. I got the box. Here's the thing. My Taco Bell experience today was miserable. Complete and utter misery. I got the Lux box. which on the menu it's like a cool little box, and you get your little cinnamon twists in there, and you get your street chalupas in there, and yeah, didn't get a box. They didn't have a box. No box. So strike one. I don't know if you heard this from earlier, but I got the chicken nuggets, which were great. They were phenomenal. And I got 2 sauces. I got one of each. I got the hot honey mustard or whatever, and I got the Bell sauce. They forgot both sauces. That was strike 2. The box thing I can forget about. But missing items that I pay for, unforgettable. Now let's move into the street chalupas. This is supposed to be a chicken bacon ranch street chalupa. And I didn't take any meat or anything out of it. Okay, this one looks a little bit better. I mean, there's less than 1 bite of chicken in here. Like if I were to just squish the chicken together, it would just be like a pinch. It would be like a pinch of like chewing tobacco or something. It tasted like a grilled cheese with bacon on it. Yeah, this is what I'm working with here. I don't know what... What's up, Dave? How you doing today? Shout out to Dave for the subscription. I talked about the TikTok algorithm a little bit last show, and I've continued my research and my digging into the data, if you will. And yeah, the chain food, they boost those posts. Boost. Listen, I have 530,000 followers on TikTok, and the majority of my mom and pop restaurant videos, I used to get like 100K easily without even blinking. Now they get like 14,000, 15,000 views. And it happened after the Israel acquisition of TikTok, right? USA bought TikTok, Larry Ellison, the whole 9 yards. They bought CBS, they bought Paramount, they bought all these different things so that they can manipulate the media, which I get. I understand that. You have to brainwash the people. I get it. But like, I don't know what happened to the TikTok algorithm. I'm doing it for that reason. And also like, I want to actually try some of the items that are new. So a couple times a week, I'm going to be sprinkling it in a little bit just to test and see what happens with TikTok, because I have a sneaking suspicion that the videos that are fast food chains or whatever are going to do great. And then I'll know, okay, confirmed. As of right now, I've done 2 fast food big chain conglomerate reviews on my TikTok. They're posted. Marco's had 110,000 views. All the other videos around it, 15K, 14K, 18K. It's crazy. It genuinely is. So we'll be testing it over the next, I give it a couple months. I usually try to test for a couple months. That's what I did when TikTok was bought by Israel. I noticed it instantly. I was like, wow, views tanked instantly. And it's across the board. It's like doesn't matter for your food or whatever it may be. Christy said, well, that's a bummer. I've recommended them to so many friends and they all loved them. The street chalupas, maybe. Dave said other food reviewers are saying the same shit about TikTok. Sniping for Dom in particular, views are lower. Christy said there was certain commentary in your Marco's video that cracked me up. Mackenzie was great in that one too. Mackenzie was great. Christy said yes. So I posted the KFC video, I think 2 days ago, and it's already like over 45,000 views. So that one will probably go to 80, maybe more. So like I said, I'm going to test it for the next like couple months, see how things go down a little bit, and just check out the views. Because I mean, yeah, you can really look at obviously you guys don't do this, but I'm analyzing all this data from all these reviewers, and just to make sure it's not a me thing. Because that's the first thing that I think is like, shit, I'm slipping. My videos suck ass now. And then I looked across the board and I'm like, okay, either we all suck now or there's something else going on. And that's why I tested for a couple months. And sure enough, it's the algorithm. So Dave said Marco's review was good. Saw KFC too. Made my throat dry, LOL. Yeah, that KFC was brutal. Megan tried to eat the wrap last night and she was like, I couldn't even eat it. Like I couldn't even like chew through the chicken. It was so like crusty and dry. I was like, yeah, that's what happened. So yeah, we talked a little bit about that history, the history of writing. Pretty interesting stuff. And then also, did you guys saw Jack Hughes scored the game-winning goal for Team USA in the Olympics? But did you know that there was another Jack Hughes? I don't know if you guys knew this. Christy said, then you have the Big Arch out now. Yep. The Big Arch, I'll be doing that for sure. I think it comes out Snackalator, I think said March 3rd or something, March 2nd. I'll probably be trying that. But yeah, Jack Hughes. I hate how they put these. I don't want to watch your video. Yahoo Sports. Jack Hughes. There was a man named Jack Hughes. If you guys watched Miracle on Ice, that was that Disney movie. And it was about, the Miracle ice hockey team for the Olympics. How they went and they beat. It was like a ragtag team of like grocery baggers and college kids. And they beat the Soviet Union, I believe it was, in the Miracle on Ice game. And for that Olympic team, there was a man named Jack Hughes on that team, but he got cut. He was a candidate to make the 1980 Olympic team, but he was one of the last players cut. There it was, right there. Jack Hughes in the movie Miracle. He was an actual person, like a real guy, and it blew my mind. I was like, because you see this stuff, and it's mainly like schizophrenic people posting on Twitter, and it turns out to be fake bullshit. But this one's real. This was real. I was like, wow. Couple of schizo wins today on Twitter. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Christy said, I was seeing people already eating it, thought it was already out. Yeah, that was Snackalator. Snackalator. Maybe there was other people too. Maybe it's out in other, maybe it's out in other places, but Snackalator's a fed, dude. He gets all the early stuff. And here's the thing. I know exactly how every single Snackalator video is going to go. Yeah, this is great. Awesome. Christy said, yeah, there were a couple others. I know he always gets them early. There are test markets, said Dave. Michael Hartson. Yeah, Snackalator, he's a cool guy. I talked to him a couple of years ago. But he's a fed, dude. He's a fed. Not actually. It's just a joke, but never forget the Snackalator live y'all did together. Yes. Yeah, that was a good one. He seems like a cool guy. He seems just like a chill dad in Chicago or something who's also a fed. Oh my gosh. That's funny shit. Yeah, but he does. There's like a route that you could go for food reviews, and I think he was already in it. This dude was already in it. Christy said industry plant confirmed. Yes, Snackalator has been an industry plant for probably 7 years. Like before he was ever doing reviews with a video, maybe 10. He might have been an industry plant for the past 10 years. And I joke when I say industry plant, but this dude has been in it for a long time. Like I've watched for a long time, and he's been in it for a long time. And he always has the early stuff. And it's always great and amazing and spectacular and unbelievable and incredible and wonderful. And sometimes I'm like, a lot of the times his reaction to the food is before it even touches his lips. I'll be like, all right, guys, today we have the all-new cinnamon twist from Taco Bell. Really good. He does his thing. Snackalator does his thing. I like checking on Snackalator's page. I really do. Because like I said, he has all the inside baseball. There's a few others that emulated him. Snack with Zach, I think, might be one of them. Snack with Zach, is that his name? And those are routes. These are all routes that you can go. As a food reviewer, you can make a lot more money doing that versus what I do. If there's anyone out there wondering, like, how can I make the most money, like, doing food reviews, don't do what I do. Just go straight to the bag. When they email you and they say, hey, we have a new product coming out. Are you interested? And why? Yes, I am. I also cannot wait, Wendy, for your new Cinnabon dessert. Are you kidding? I've been waiting years for that, Wendy. I wonder what it could possibly taste like. A Cinnabon pull-apart bread? Are you for real, Wendy? Are you yanking my chain, Wendy? Christy said, did you see Stefan will be helping out some mom and pop shops? I believe he just is doing what he's been doing, right? Isn't he just doing what he's been doing? He basically said he's looking for mom and pop shops who need help, but he's not charging them any money. But isn't that what unless he hasn't been doing that? Because he does local mom and pop shop reviews. Christy said, well, I thought the same, but he made a specific post about it. Yes, he made a specific post about it. So most likely a marketing angle, because you can position it as like a marketing angle as well as also getting paid for that post. Yeah, I mean, that's helping out some mom and pop. That's interesting. Maybe I should take some notes. Stefan Johnson's actually a great person who has done ads in the past where I've looked at it. And like I said, literally, not literally, but figuratively taken notes because I've watched him do an ad before and he doesn't really say that he likes it. And I remember when I was first starting out, I was like, that's how I want to do ads because it's a very genuine way of doing it. And that's what I did with the McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Freezy, or whatever, the Frosty, Slurpee. How many, can we come up with any dumber names? What's it called? Icy? Is it Icy? Frozen. There it is. Got to go through the Rolodex of bullshit names. Freezy, Icy, Slushy, Frozen. It was the Coke Frozen from McDonald's. Michael Hartson said, without saying you like the food item, you just overly describe the product and sensations. Yes, exactly, Michael. Exactly. And that's what I did with the frozen Coke from McDonald's. Frozen Coke. I said, are you looking to stay cool on a hot summer day? There's no better option than the frozen Coke from McDonald's. Something like that. It was something like that. Where I was like, are you hot and you want to be cold? Have this cold thing. That was like the premise of the ad. I didn't have to say, yum, this is a 10 out of 10. It's the most incredible thing I ever put in my mouth. You know, I just kept it real. And that's something that I saw from Stefan where I was like, hey, I like that, you know? W ad, said Christy. Yeah, that was, I forgot which ad that Stefan did, but it was an earlier one. Maybe it was an Applebee's one or something. It was an Applebee's boneless wings ad that Stefan did. And he was like, there's chicken in there. He's like, they're boneless. That means there's no bones. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but it was something like that. It was the way he did it. Like, I should give him, those are his flowers. Those are your flowers, Stefan. I know you're not watching, but Dave said they are nuggets, LOL. Yes, exactly. Yeah, boneless wings, I think I think it was an ad for like the endless boneless wings or something for $20 at Applebee's or one of them. One of those spots. But yeah, so, and that's another reason why mixing in some more fast food stuff, some more like chain type spots, because those spots see your page and they go, he has that audience, you know? If I only have an audience of people who only want to watch me because I only do mom and pop shops, you know, and then they're like, yeah, he only does mom and pop shops. And then I do an ad for KFC or something. All those people are going to be like, ew, why are you touching KFC? You're going to get AIDS or something. And it's like that like snobby group. I don't think I want these snobs. There's a couple snobs. Gotta, you know, what's that thing when you have like the sand and, you know, you shake it and the sand filters through and you can see a face or something like a Jesus in the, so they have different ones. That's just the first one that popped in my head. What do you call that thing? What do you call that thing that you shake and it has sand in it? Christy said, did you see the failed boneless wings lawsuit against Wingstop? She also said, wait, it was BWW, not Wingstop. Okay, Buffalo Wild Wings. Boneless wings lawsuit. No, I didn't see that. Let me try to look it up. Real quick. What's up, bud? February 17th, 2026. Here we go. The claim. Plaintiff Amin Halim argued the boneless wings were misleadingly named, suggesting they are closer to chicken nuggets or chicken poppers than actual wing meat. The ruling, U.S. District Judge John Tharp Jr. What's better, when I do the screen share and read at the same time, or is that kind of redundant? Let me know in the chat. The ruling. U.S. District Judge John Tharp Jr. stated that boneless wings is a fanciful term known to refer to white meat chicken, comparing it to cauliflower wings, which consumers know are not made of wing meat. The judge ruled the complaint lacked sufficient evidence that consumers were actually misled, saying it had no meat on its bones. Response: Buffalo Wild Wings celebrated the decision on social media, declaring that their product will forever be called boneless wings. Did they start that? Did Buffalo Wild Wings start the term boneless wings? My eyes are getting dry. I'm crying actually. If you're seeing my eyes tear up, I'm actually crying about this ruling. The judge dismissed the case but allowed the plaintiff to amend the complaint by March 20th, 2026. What is this guy even saying? Okay, so there's not wing meat in there. Yeah, that's a stretch, bud. You know, I really wanted to be on your side here. Amen, Halim. Really wanted to be on your side here. I agree with parts of this. Boneless wings. I agree that there could be a better name for it, but saying it fools reasonable customers into expecting actual deboned wings, what would that even look like? Like you shred? Wow, imagine if you actually did that though. Is there any place that actually has real boneless wings? Like actual deboned wing meat, smushed and formed into a ball and breaded and deep fried? Real boneless wing. That's a crazy thing to do. What is this here? Okay. The Alexa, yeah. For the sand shifter thing. I don't know what it's called either. I forgot what it is. Stand for what you believe in. Amen. Grim Jong-un said, no, he's right. Christie said, well, no single person originally called chicken nuggets boneless wings. The phrase emerged from Buffalo Wild Wings marketing strategy in the 2000s. Wow. Yeah, W. Christie. Dave said W. Christie. Shout out to Christie for checking that out. Christie said, I mean, if you can't call strips of chicken breast tenders and legally have to call them strips, then why can't the same be said about wings? And you got the emote there. I love that. That's funny. So wait, you can't call strips of chicken breast tenders and legally have to call them strips. So you have to call them chicken strips? You can't call them tenders? I didn't know that. That's news to me. You can't call, like if you took a chicken breast and threw away the tenderloin, you threw that away, and you took the chicken breast that was remaining and you cut it into strips, you couldn't call those chicken tenders? That is news to me. Christy said if it says strips, it's breast. Wow. Mackenzie, we've been fooled. We've been bamboozled our whole lives. What do you think about that? Christy said fun little culinary school knowledge. I didn't know that was like a legal term. That's interesting. Chicken strip. What about chicken fingers, said Dave. That's a good one too. Chicken fingers. Can chicken fingers be breast strips? Now there's a question. Can chicken fingers be breast strips? I would assume a lot of chicken fingers are probably like smashed breast, right? Like pounded out? Because they're usually bigger. Chicken fingers are usually bigger, right? A little bit more like surface area to a chicken finger. Chicken tender, you're thinking a little bit of girthiness. Christy said, I'm sure some places still do, but you're not supposed to for repercussions. Customers could challenge it. Wow. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. But one of these food trips might have to be a little bit more profitable than the others. If I ever come across, I'm kidding. Christy said only 2 tenders per chicken. Lots of chicken breast on a chicken. Yeah. So you'd have to make chicken tenders legally, you would have to just be buying chicken tenderloins by the mass. Wow. I didn't know that. That is pretty interesting. Amen, Halim. Try to do some globalnews.ca. This guy's from Canada? This man's from Canada? No. A man in Lincoln, Nebraska made a impassioned appeal to his local government on August 31st. In 2020, he said he's been living a lie, calling chicken tenders boneless chicken wings. That's funny. The products are more akin in composition to a chicken nugget rather than a chicken wing. Halim sued Buffalo Wild Wings and parent. See, you need the lawsuit is also filed on behalf of potentially thousands of other affected patrons. I was going to say, you need like a lot of people to be confused about it. Had plaintiff and the other consumers known that the products were not actually chicken wings, they would have paid less for them or would have not have purchased them at all. Hey, that's a great point. That's a really good point. Boneless wings are more expensive than chicken nuggets because of the wing name attachment. Buffalo Wild Wings says it's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburgers contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo. Well, you don't sell buffalo wings. You sell chicken wings. There's no such thing as buffalo wings. There's chicken wings. This guy says it looks like a large number of people don't recognize sarcasm when they see it. Yeah, that's a tough one. Because like I said, unless you have like thousands of people to actually like be genuine, like, I got screwed. I got bamboozled. Where do I sign up, said Christy. Rocky Mountain oysters. What is that again? Isn't that like bull testicles or something? I've looked that up before. Prairie balls. Yeah, bull testicles. That's what it is. Rocky Mountain oysters, a Western U.S. and Canadian specialty dish. God, Rocky Mountain oysters. Mackenzie, go lay down, bud. Thanks. That's kind of crazy. Amen, Halim. Like I said, it's kind of crazy to bring up like a legit lawsuit like that unless you have like thousands of people who are actually like genuinely confused. Imagine like trying to testify in court for that and being like, I had no idea. Don't you have to like say it on a Bible or something? It's a little intimidating. What happened to my thing here? Okay. Dave said boneless wings have the sauce. Nuggets, you dip them in. Dip them is the difference, I think. Yeah, but you can get boneless wings without sauce. What would you call boneless wings without the sauce? Christy said, imagine ordering those expecting oysters. Now that's a lawsuit. 100%. I'd be down for that. If we get thousands of people in on this, we'll go to the Midwest or Canada, wherever they're selling them. The Midwest? I couldn't imagine like being in, what's a state in the Midwest? Like Iowa and ordering mountain oysters? What are they? Dude, that's craziness. Yeah, I was going to eat a little bit of this Taco Bell, but it's really just unappealing to me. Let's do a little update here. Yeah, if you guys ever miss any parts of the live, you can always go to the YouTube, the Facebook, or the Rumble. American Power Hour. We're doing very well. I think we have almost 900 followers on the Facebook. That's incredible. Thank you all for joining on this journey. 220 subscribers on the YouTube. And Rumble's going. Rumble has a new little thing. It's intriguing. Did I post on it? Yeah. So they're doing shorts. Rumble has beta shorts. I'll show you guys. See? Shorts. Beta. No views on this one. That's kind of weird. New Hot Honey McDonald's wrap. 22 views. 20 views on This Is Why Mukbangers Will Lose Their Job to AI. Pretty interesting. Because if I go to videos, 4 views, 11 views, 5 views, 10. I just like putting them here. I don't know why. You do get paid on Rumble as well. I think I've made like 3 cents. So watch out. We'll be buying a new pair of shoes with that. Maybe some Rocky Mountain oysters. Man. Whoa, Christy. Hey. Thank you, Christy. W in the chat. Grim Jong-un said W, Christy. Yes, W's in the chat for Christy. Thank you for the subs. 5 subs for the community. Hey now. Christy said the South would never trick me like that. They would just call them bull balls. Exactly. Yeah, they wouldn't mess around like that. New unexpected danger living in the Midwest. Yeah, I guess, yeah, Illinois, right? Illinois, Iowa. What else is there? There's some other states out there. Is Ohio the Midwest? I remember when I told people I was doing a Midwest tour, a Midwest trip, and I included Ohio in it, and they were very angry. They were like, Ohio's not the Midwest. It's like, well, if I'm in Connecticut, it's over there. It's over that way. Let's see if there's anything new going on Twitter. Charlie Kirk, widow. Erica Kirk, widow of Charlie Kirk, attends State of the Union address. I heard it was like the longest State of the Union. I didn't watch it. What the hell is this? Chris Bosch.
I didn't have any time to prepare for it. I was getting ready to go on a date with my wife, and next thing you know, I was on the ground. I won't get into specifics, but you can kind of see I'm still recovering. I'm not going to try to hide that one in case I look different, but it was a scary thing, and it came fast, and it made me really have a different outlook on life and how things go, what we do for ourselves,
What is he talking about? I don't know what he was talking about here. He said he's not going to go into specifics. This person asked Grok, what is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about here. I hope he's okay, though. Chris Bosch. Well, yeah, I don't think we know what happened. So hopefully he's good, you know? This is the type of stuff I see on Twitter. And it's always people like this. They always share it's a lot of schizophrenic people on Twitter. I'll tell you that. 500 replies. What does MG stand for? It's like, okay, if this actually meant anything, do you really think she would wear it out in public and to tell everyone? I don't even know what it is, but I'm just using like common sense. Like if she was trying to hide the MG on her finger, it's her kid's initials. Yeah, see? This is why I didn't even like want to bother clicking on it. This is the first like a couple weeks of this show, month of this show, I tried to like look at Twitter and try to like do a show based upon, but it's all just like schizophrenic people like arguing with each other. Indiana. Yes, Ohio is. Okay, cool. Christy said the Midwest being directly above the Southeast has always been a tad confusing for me. Yeah, that makes sense. Not. Grim Jong-un said, how can you stand Twitter? LMAO. Yeah, it's a black hole. It's a black hole, but at the same time, at the same time, there is some good stuff here. It's almost like it's a dumpster fire, but somewhere in the dumpster, there's like a quarter. And if you like do enough dumpster diving, you might be able to pull out a quarter. The question is it even worth it? Yeah, it's mainly just slop. It's just garbage. You're seeing some UFC probably because it's my timeline in a disturbing clip. See, this is stuff like something like this. Instantly, my brain goes, this could just be AI voice. I wouldn't be surprised, but I can't take that and I can't do anything with that unless you already have like a personal bias and you have like some schizophrenia. Then you could be like, oh my gosh, this proves everything. But I look at this and I'm like, it's not even worth listening to because it could be Winnie the Pooh with a Donald Trump voice changer. AI. I could create this, whatever this is. It could be real. I could create it in probably 90 seconds, depending on how long it is. And I can make the same caption and I can make the same post and put it out there as if it was real. That's why trying to get information on Twitter, it's really difficult. But shit breaks on Twitter and the news outlets cover what is trending on Twitter. That's a fact. A lot of UFC in my timeline. Maybe that's why my mental health has been better the past couple weeks. The first month I was trying to do this show, like I said, I didn't have an algorithm on my Twitter. It was just whatever the sloppiest slop was whenever you sign up. And it was all political bullshit, basically. Dumpster diving, said Grim Jong-un. Yeah. Christy said, might get flashed, might get traumatized, and might learn a fun fact. Christy said, you're very bold just scrolling it on stream, LOL. Maybe that's why mine is pure slop, because I never interact with anything, said Christy. Well, I don't think I interact. I guess technically I do. Well, the thing is, the only interactions that I've done on the Twitter has been, it's only been like I'll favorite something, like bookmarks. See, Guy Fieri went to Comet Ping Pong for diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Who's been in the biz since he was 15. I grew up baking masala playing ping pong. So of course it made sense to put the two. Here we are in Northwest Washington, D.C. to visit a joint that's serving up ping.
So yeah, I mean, this is okay, so here's something. I'll tell you guys a little secret here. I don't interact with UFC posts in the sense that I favorite them or like them or open it up and click on it. All I'll do is I'll stop scrolling if I see a UFC video that I want to watch or just catch a second of, and I stop scrolling, right? And it knows he's watching this UFC video. They can also track your eyes too. So if there's multiple things on your screen at once, it will track where your eyes are on the screen so it knows exactly what it is that you're looking at. But yeah, Guy Fieri went to Comet Ping Pong for Triple D. Twice. Bro went twice. That's crazy. I don't know if you guys knew that. And then there is this other little bookmark we'll check out here. What on earth is that pizza image, said Christy. 69 on a pizza, LOL. Pizzagate confirmed. Yeah, so. And then this was like a Justin Bieber spoof type thing, I think. Trevor Moore. I don't know if we're not going to watch all this. We're going to watch enough of it for you to get it. Yeah, that was Trevor Moore. Rest in peace to Trevor Moore. Yeah, so that was basically like a spoof, that Comedy Central did, joking around. The thing is, like, it's a joke, but it's also true at the same time. So it's a little sick, And then this was The Dentist. You guys hear about Kurt Cobain? That was a while ago. That was like last week, I think. Kurt Cobain didn't actually kill himself. The new forensic report found that it was a homicide. And he had, like, the level of drugs in him wasn't equal to, this person who knows drugs talked about it here. Talking about blood morphine levels and whatnot. Basically, the amount of morphine that they found in his body and heroin that they found in his body, it would have made him so incapacitated that he would not have been able to use the gun that shot him. Trying to maneuver and trying to get the thing to line up. He was on so much drugs that it would have been impossible for him to use that gun and actually pull the trigger on himself. And this was breaking. I never talked about it, but yeah, it's officially official. Kurt Cobain did not kill himself. Wow. Or KMS. Am I not allowed to say that? Hopefully I don't get exiled from the internet. Yeah. He told us himself he doesn't have... Really? I didn't know that. Wait, is it in a song or something? So yeah, that was let me unbookmark these now. Kurt Cobain saying that children were being R-worded on the island right in front of his house. This was Kurt Cobain talking about there was a conspiracy involving a judge in Seattle and people in Hollywood that ruined her life. She was committed to a psychiatric institution, lobotomized, and R-worded every night on Vashon Island. She died alone. It scares me that these abusers are still living comfortably here, says Kurt Cobain.
She hated the whole Hollywood scene, and she expressed her hatred for them publicly, and she also, when she was I think she was 15, she entered this essay contest when she was living here in Seattle entitled God is Dead. And a lot of people accused her of being a communist. And then she went to New York and was a part of this
So Kurt Cobain was keyed up on this stuff. That looks like AI. Courtney Love. Who is Courtney Love? Was Courtney Love a honeypot? Hey Alexa, was Courtney Love a honeypot?
That's an intriguing question about Courtney Love. While there's no evidence she was a honeypot, Love has certainly been a controversial figure in the music industry. Would you like to learn more about Courtney Love's music career?
No. And don't respond.
Got it.
Why does it say got it? I said no, do not respond. Yeah, you got it, guy. Thanks. That's something. Gaslighting. That's gaslighting. His song, yes, Christy, that's what it was. Something about I don't have the Nirvana playlist right here. So, Courtney Love, she was probably a honeypot, dude, if I had to assume, to control Kurt Cobain. I was also looking up some stuff about Mac Miller's death. Very strange. There's a lot of these Hollywood people that OD, and it makes you think, where are they getting their drugs from? Don't they have people that get them good, clean drugs? A little confusing to me. As if Mac Miller, drove to, a highway rest stop, a truck stop or something, and like picked up a bag from behind the porta potty. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these people are taken out. A lot of these people that are going, Christy said same thing with Matthew Perry's overdose being murder. Yeah, Matthew Perry. I mean, it's all of them. Michael Jackson. They told us Kurt Cobain. And like I said, the biggest thing about it, because like normal thinking would be overdosed on drugs, how sad. It's an epidemic. It happens, you know, very sad. At the same time, it's like these people have been getting drugs from the same people for years and years. They get some premium drugs. These are not some backdoor, you know, guy in the back of the Taco Bell alley type of drugs. Michael Hart said maybe their inner circles tell them no, so then they resort to sketchy means. Potentially, Michael. Potentially. Christy said, gee, I wonder what other famous person definitely did not kill themselves. Yeah, there was something new with the Jeffrey Epstein files. Joe Rogan was talking about it, but it was with Jim Brewer. I'm not very far on this. I think it was back here. They were talking about like
The body from the autopsy. Verumontanum? That's how I would have said it. The testes are unremarkable. That's the last thing I want anybody to say about my nuts. I want them to say, wow, what a great pair.
Great body, but the nuts are unremarkable.
All right. So I think in this clip, they were talking about some Epstein files that were. Here's the thing. Look, they're getting their information from Twitter, dude. Like I said, there is some good information on Twitter, but what's this right here? Can I make this bigger? I can't see it. Maybe I can search it on the old Twitter. They were talking about, so there was something with his prostate. Let me check prostate. Here it is. This is the exact thing that they were looking at. The medical examiner who studied Epstein's corpse noted an enlarged prostate, but Epstein's own words and medical records in the released files seem to indicate his prostate was removed. Okay, so they put their sources here. That's good. What is this? What I like to do is make sure people aren't instantly discrediting, because then you could save a lot of time. Did he grow a new... Okay. Autopsy mocked by the coroner. The testes are unremarkable. I love a good conspiracy theory, but the context indicates that this is a hypothetical question and the you is an impersonal one. It's going to be very difficult to prove anything like this. I just had the crazy thought if I just made like the thumbnail of this video, like Jeffrey Epstein's butt. I don't know how I would do that or why I would do that. I would never do that, but I'll have to look into it. Night Owl says it was a known corrupt forensic pathologist who will testify to lie. Ah, God, the mental illness, the mind virus. He is not saying his prostate was removed. They were going over examples of situations that could cause what they were talking about. Read more than just the highlighted part. Okay, see? Now there's my confirmation bias. Notice statins aren't the best. I did not need Jeffrey Epstein to tell me that. Why are people sharing this AI bullshit? Epstein was spotted in Slovenia. Shut up, dude. Oh my gosh. He's alive and well in Israel. The same person shared the same not the same person. It's the same photo, and this person said that it was Slovenia. Oh my gosh. It's like mush, dude. I don't want to believe these people are real people. But then you have people like Joe Rogan doing his show on this. Okay, that's the forensic report of the death. The dead body. After 1953, date of birth, okay. Richard says exactly, and it's not clear what other effects those hormones might be having that aren't replaced by testosterone. And so the advantage of taking testosterone, there are two different things. You can have high testosterone and still have a need for Viagra because you don't have a prostate, right? Jeffrey says correct. So that's an example. There are actually two examples. Two different things. Yeah, so my biggest question is what was before this? What's this one? Gosh, this is... If Epstein has... So if I had to assume here, what's the date on this? 2018. This is 2018. He still had a prostate. 2 hours ago. People are still digging into this one. In November of 18, he made a reference to his enlarged prostate. Am I 18? I'm pretty sure. God. Let me read about your enlarged prostate, Jeffrey. I'm not scrolling through this. Okay, I scrolled through it. The manipulation is not really clever. Is it a gift to be able to have these problems as opposed to most that suffer a swollen prostate? Smiley face. Most that suffer a swollen prostate. I have a swollen prostate too. So it sounds like bro had a swollen prostate and was potentially going to get it removed and was speaking about it potentially getting removed. How come I just fact checked Joe Rogan? How come I did that? With 6 people watching. I just fact checked Joe Rogan, who says Jeffrey Epstein's still alive because he didn't have a prostate. And then in the autopsy report, it states that he has a swollen prostate. And Joe Rogan's like, well, that can't be true. Then it must be a different body. That's the conclusion he came to, was that it must have been a different body. They did a body swap. That's insane, dude. Like I'm with you on the crazy train, but we need to make sure that like what we're talking about is actually what we're talking about. The moment I saw this on the side here, where it was like a Twitter feed and bro is reading it as if it's like factual news, I was like, okay, I hope it's not like just straight bullshit. I hope it's not just straight bullshit, but it is straight bullshit because we just fact checked it. And it took what? It took a little bit. It took like a solid 6 minutes. Guys like that just don't have the time though. They just don't have the time. That's your competition, by the way, said Grim Jong-un. Hey, I'm okay with that, man. If that's no, Joe, he's been slipping a little bit. He's been slipping a little bit. There's all those giant channels, the commentary channels. I watch more the commentary channels than I do actual like podcasts. Like Podcast Cringe and like all those commentary channels are hilarious. But yeah, they call him Papa Rogan. It used to be better like if I was just, I think the problem is like me fact checking things. Because if I just didn't fact check things, I would just la-di-da-di-da, Jeffrey Epstein's still alive because he didn't have a prostate, and then he did have a prostate, so that means that there's a body double, and he's playing Fortnite in Israel right now. Obviously, la-di-da. But unfortunately, I have this disease where I have to, like, try my best to be as accurate as possible, which it puts you in a real pickle, Like, I would love to just, like, repeat what Joe Rogan was saying, but I can't, dude. I can't when it's like that. What a shame. Are people at least calling it out? There's thousands of comments, 3,000 comments. Maybe I'll sort by top comments. Jim always looks like he gets a solid 8 or 9 minutes of sleep every night. That's funny. Marijuana smokes Jim. Yeah, that's the same person. Wow. Must have eaten their Wheaties that morning. All the comments are about Jim Brewer. Nobody is mentioning the fact that they started the show. It was the first 10 minutes of the show.
You know those storage unit shows where they break it?
The first 10 minutes of the show is them saying that Jeffrey Epstein's still alive because they swapped the bodies because he had a prostate and then he didn't have a prostate. When in reality, he did have a prostate. He had an enlarged prostate. And in the email, he was talking about him potentially getting his prostate removed eventually. It doesn't appear that he got his prostate removed. In the emails, he says, I have an enlarged prostate. And then in the coroner report, the coroner says that he has an enlarged prostate. So kind of frustrating, But this is gospel. To some people hear something on Joe Rogan, and they're like, it must be true. I like listening to Joe Rogan. I love when he does the UFC events. But as far as real information, Joe Rogan's like the new Alex Jones. Is that fair to say? Joe Rogan is the new Alex Jones. I feel like that's a pretty decent comparison. How are the chalupas, said Ravioli? I'll show you my chalupa. I'll show you my little itty bitty chalupa. Here's half. This is half of the chalupa. There it is. The chicken bacon ranch chalupa from Taco Bell. Garbage. Not garbage in a taste sense, but it's supposed to be chicken bacon ranch. Christy said, did they forget the pico too, or did you ask for it off? I got no pico on mine. Not a big tomato guy. And so, man, I don't know what it is. I think the first time I had the street chalupas, they weren't good. That was years ago. I think they did the steak street chalupa thing. And I had a similar experience where in the chalupa, it was 2, maybe 3 pieces of steak that big. It was like steak for ants. And I was like, this is just like a grilled cheese, basically. It tastes like, to me, it tastes like a grilled cheese, which is fine. It's just, I wouldn't have ordered it. If I knew that there wasn't going to be any protein in it, I wouldn't have ordered it. And then this was Christy said that's really unfortunate. Ours were so packed with meat, the meat was falling out. I wish I had that experience. I wish. This right here was a bean and rice burrito that comes in the box, deluxe box. They didn't have the box. I got no beans because the beans at Taco Bell, let me tell you, yeah, no beans. And I got meat in it. I got ground beef in it because I was like, that'll be better. The ground beef was from yesterday. The ground beef that I got in the burrito was yesterday's leftovers. And I can tell. I know exactly what the leftovers at Taco Bell taste like because I worked at Taco Bell and I've served people leftovers at Taco Bell before because that's what they do. At the end of the night, you take all the food and you put them in the little bins and you put some saran wrap over it. You throw it in the back of the fridge and then you pull it out the next morning and you plop it down in the warmer and you got yesterday's leftovers. And typically it's gone in the first little bit. Not for me, dude. Not for me. I got leftovers. I got cucked. That's what happens to me. Michael Hartson said, now I understand leftover beans. Yikes, lost my Taco Bell appetite. Yeah, I got leftover meat in this one. But yeah, they do the leftovers, dude. And like I said, I get it, but I didn't think I was gonna experience that because at the time that I went, I shouldn't have gotten leftovers. It just means like nobody was ordering the Taco Bell, apparently. Christy said that explains why when we get regular chalupas a few weeks back, the shell was so hard it crumbled like a corn shell. Jeez. That could have also, depending on what time you went, it could have been... The chalupa shells are normally thrown out, I think. But if the chalupa shells were made... Sometimes people will make, 8 of them or whatever, and then they don't sell all 8 instantly. And sometimes they sit there for hours. And if they sit there for hours, then yes, it will literally... It'll be horrible. Christy said it was right after they opened, but it was the crunchiest chalupa I've ever seen. Yeah, maybe it was a leftover, but I don't recall keeping the chalupa shells for leftover. In fact, I think I remember specifically when we would get towards the end of the night, we wouldn't make any more. So hopefully we wouldn't have leftovers, but maybe spots do it differently. What's up? Robin said, hey, Nick, I just found your channel a few days ago, and now I'm hooked. Great reviews. I'm on the East Coast and very anxious to try some of the places you've been. Hey, shout out to you, Robin. Thank you for joining us here today on Wednesday, February 25th. Christy said it's the shrinkflation. Probably. Speaking of shrinkflation, I don't know what it has anything to do with shrinkflation, but today's Wednesday. I go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right around noon 30, but I'm always late, like an hour. So right around 1:30. If you miss any parts of the live, go to the YouTube American Power Hour or Rumble or Facebook. I got to get Monday's video uploaded. So we're going to sign off for the day. We've had a great stream. It's been an hour and a half. So went a little bit over time, but that's all right. It happens sometimes. I will be back here on Friday in just a couple days. And yeah, let's sign off here for the day. Thank you to everyone who joined. Robin said, have a great day. Make Kentucky your next destination. We got great food here. I got to get back to Kentucky soon. Hang out with Luke Foods. All right. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Robin. Thank you to Michael. Thank you to Christy. Thank you to Raviolis. Shout out to Raviolis, man. Shout out to Grim Jong-un, the Gooner. The Crab Rangooner. Shout out to Dave. Yeah, thank you to everyone again, and I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see y'all on Friday. All right, y'all. Peace out.